All right, class. This is Mr. Stuckey, and today we're just going to kind of review. Hopefully, you guys have your notes ready to go. While you guys are watching this video, I'm going to come around and do a note check. So let's go ahead and look at what your notes should look like real quick. All right. Dial it out here just a little bit. So let's start with 201. That's the verbals. And please put your notes in order. 202 is infinitives. 203 is appositives and appositive phrases. 204 is adjective and adverb clauses. And 205 is noun clauses. So that's 5 sheets of notes that you guys should have done and ready to look at them. So as long as you got them in that stack, we might as well just go ahead and go through them and walk you through one more time just exactly what each of these things is about. Now, we started off with verbals, and we've actually got a couple of pages for verbals because we have verbals and then infinitives. Infinitives are a type of verbal, but we didn't fit them in the first sheet of notes. So, again, a verbal is a word or phrase that is usually a verb, but it's being used as a noun or an adjective. It's not being used as the verb of the sentence. You know, it's being used to describe, or it's being used as a noun directly. And there are 3 different types of verbals that we talked about. There's the participle, the gerund, and the infinitive. So a participle is a verb being used as an adjective, and it's going to end with d, ed, ing, or s. Okay, the verb is going to be either a present participle, past participle, or future participle. So, keep an eye out for that. If it's a present participle, it'll be verb plus ing. If it's a past participle, it'll be verb plus d or ed, the past tense of the verb. All right. Move on to gerund. Gerunds are a little bit easier to pick out of this lineup. So really, if I was looking at a verb in a sentence and I knew that it was not acting as a verb, I would look for a gerund first because they're easy to pick out. It's a verb plus ing. Gerunds always have ing on them, and they're being used as a noun. All right? And then the infinitives, we'll talk more about infinitives on the next sheet, but the infinitives are verbs that are used as nouns or adjectives with to in front of them. All right? So to is going to be in front of an infinitive every time. So if we look down here, we've got this first sentence, and just think about it. I'm not going to tell you which one this is yet, because I want you to think about it for just a moment. Is this, Jose comforted the crying baby? What is in that sentence? Is it an infinitive, a gerund, or a participle? It is a participle because it's being used as an adjective. All right, the word is crying. Crying is modifying baby, right? Crying is a verb, but it's just telling us which baby, right? The crying baby. So that is an infinitive, and I'm sorry, no, it's not. It's a participle, and that participle it's diagrammed just like an adjective. It's super easy to diagram those participles. Okay, on number 2 here, I enjoy swimming. Think about that for just a moment. What kind of word is swimming? It's one of those verbals. It is a gerund. See, it's an ing verb, and it's being used as a noun, right? What do you enjoy? I enjoy swimming. So swimming is, at this point, it's a person, place, thing, or idea, right? It's an event, which would fall under the idea category, right? So with gerunds, we draw the stick figure, just like you guys learned the other day with noun phrases, right? Anytime we have a word that's not really a noun, that's taking the place of a noun, we're going to draw the stick figure. And with gerunds, I like to say that, you draw the stick figure and he's holding a gun, right? He's holding a gun for that ing. And when you write it correctly, it looks like the ing is kind of falling down the stairs. All right? So that's how you diagram the gerunds. All right. So we did infinitives on the next sheet. Let's get those out. So the reason that we did infinitives on a different sheet is because they're a little bit more complicated. It's easy to pick out a participle or a gerund because they're being used differently, right? A participle is always going to be an adjective. A gerund is always going to be a noun. Well, here, we've got things just a little different. Infinitives can go either way. But remember that, here, let me get that 201 notes again. Look down at here at the definition of infinitives. Verb used as a noun or an adjective with to in front of it. So we're always going to have to with our infinitives. So here we are. To write is her ambition. Where's the infinitive? To write. Okay? To and write together. Let's see. There we go. To and write together are the infinitive. So we've got the stick figure because it's being a noun in this case, right? And since it's an infinitive, since we have the word to with it, we draw the stick figure holding a sword. And we put the to on the sword. All right? So if it's a gerund, we're holding a gun. If it's an infinitive, you're holding a sword. But only if it's a noun. Because sometimes, like this one, he was the first one to solve that tricky problem. Well, to solve is our infinitive, right? So if we look down here, we've got to solve, right? But we don't have it on a stick figure. Why not? Because it's modifying one. It is acting as an adjective. When it's acting as an adjective, we draw that adjective line, right? That diagonal adjective line, and you write to on it, and then you kind of do the same sort of things you did up here, right? This whole arm holding a sword thing happens right here. Now there's the sword, there's the hand holding it. We just don't have the torso and legs. All right, here's another example of how you do the noun. We've got the stick figure there to be the noun. And then over here, again, we've got the adjective. So we've got just the adjective modifying line going down from the word that's modifying with to on it, connected to invite, or connected to the verb. All right, let's jump on. Let's get to appositives. I think of all of the different things that we're covering in this unit, I really think that appositives are probably the easiest, right? Because when you look at an appositive in a sentence, it just makes sense. Our cousin, Iola, is a chemical engineer. What else would you even do with that? That would be tough to diagram if we didn't have appositives. Or, I mean, I guess that is the appositive, but if we didn't have this method for dealing with appositives. Cousin is just being clarified by Iola, right? Now, the important thing with appositives, and I saw this on some of your homework, the important thing with appositives is whatever comes first, that's the actual subject. And then the clarifying statement comes after. Okay? So in this case, cousin is the subject, and Iola is just clarifying it. If this was written just the other way, if it was Iola, our cousin, is a chemical engineer, then Iola would be on the outside of the parentheses over here, and then cousin would be on the inside of the parentheses, and our would be over here. Hopefully that's making sense to you guys. So here we've got this overly complicated sentence. I mean, it's not that complicated, but Jerry Seinfeld, the popular comedian, is also the author of a best-selling book. Well, the popular comedian is clarifying Jerry Seinfeld. What's important, though, is that you have to find the noun in here that's being modified. In this case, the and popular are both modifying comedian. So comedian is the one word that goes in the parentheses. And then it has those modifiers hanging off of it. Okay, burning right through. Just got 2 more to go. All right. Adjective clauses and adverb clauses. So now we're getting into clauses. These are the ones that you connect with these lines, right? These clauses we connect with lines. Now, the noun clauses we do differently. We talked about those just yesterday. Those are probably still pretty fresh in your memory. But here we go. The grade that I got yesterday pleased my parents. Well, that was modifying grade. Excuse me. Let me get a pen out here and show you. The first thing that you should do when you're looking at a sentence that has a clause in it is just go ahead and separate it out, okay? The grade that I got yesterday pleased my parents. Well, here we've got grade. What did the grade do? It pleased. So what's in between there? That's all the clause, right? So we're going to take that out because we're going to diagram that completely separately. So when you take your test, I would like to see you guys circling or underlining or putting a square around, somehow showing that you have found the clause. Because that'll show me, if you get something wrong, that'll show me where you're having a little bit of trouble. All right, so the grade that I got yesterday pleased my parents. The grade pleased my parents. Easy enough. I got that yesterday. Pretty easy. The only thing you need to really remember here is that is a pronoun that has an antecedent of grade. All right? So grade that I got yesterday. So that is the direct object of this clause right here. Okay? Because it is what was got. So you have to connect it to its antecedent, grade, and you have to make sure that you put it at the end. A lot of people on a similar problem yesterday were putting that at the beginning, and it said like, that got I. Well, that doesn't make any sense, right? You have to get this in the correct order. It's not going to necessarily be the order that it was originally in the sentence. You just have to find the subject, the verb, the direct object, etc. All right. When I got home from school, I ate an apple. Okay. Here we have what's called a subordinating conjunction. That's this when. Subordinating conjunction. It connects as I got home from school and I ate an apple. Right? Connects those two ideas. So it's a conjunction. Well, conjunctions, as we know from, when we had sentences that had more than one subject. There we go. Like if we had Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry fight, right? The conjunction and, that's a terrible and. That's a little better. It goes on the dotted line. Well, our subordinating conjunction is exactly the same. We've got a dotted line, so we put when on the dotted line because when is the subordinating conjunction. So then it's just the same, guys. It's just the same. Find the clause, diagram the clause at the bottom, diagram the main sentence at the top, connect with the dotted line. Easy peasy. All right, I don't want to spend too much time on this one because we're already at 15 minutes. But, and we also just went over this yesterday. Here, we've got the noun clauses. And, of course, with noun clauses, again, what have you got to do? You got to make that stick figure. Remember, a noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. So we're going to draw a person. So you draw the stick figure, and then you find that clause, right? And diagram it up here. Okay. All right, guys. Well, tomorrow we'll have some more review. Monday, I think we'll play a review game. And Tuesday, you guys will have your tests. So, best of luck to you. And I'll catch you later.